So with this episode of the Speakeasy podcast, I'm bringing to you an amazing guest who will be talking to you. We'll be talking about that health and wellness journey, that health journey. You know, the one that you said you were going to be on January 1st, the one that's kind of like on your vision board with all the like bikinis, that one. But the reality is that, guess what? Your health is your wealth. I know that this year I decided to go a little further into full force with my health and wellness journey with my personal trainer and doing some amazing things. And she got me doing some interesting workouts at the gym. But it's a dedication that you will never get to if you don't change the mindset first. Mm-hmm. And so first, I want you, Elizabeth, to introduce yourself to everyone. Tell the audience a little bit about you.
I am Elizabeth Clamon. I'm a naturopath. I have a master's degree in naturopathic medicine, and I work as a coach and a speaker, and I'm getting ready to publish my first book coming out hopefully in a couple of weeks. I'm just doing a mini book, and then in October, doing a collaboration and my first book are both coming out in October. So I'm way excited about that. And it's just about my journey and what I've been through to get to where I am. And like you said, your health is your wealth. You cannot get through this life without your health. And I know that from being knocked down several times, once by a semi-truck that left me disabled and bedridden for 12 years in an auto accident. So that was a fight. And my saying, my mantra, what I speak about is being relentless. And since I'm from Louisiana, I say lâche pas la patate, which means pursue it, be relentless about it, and use that Cajun grit to dig down deep and get that strength and do what you need to do to regain whatever it is you need to gain, to whether it's achieving your goals, achieving good health, whatever it is that your goals are. Dig down, lâche pas la patate, and get that down there and be relentless about going after it.
And that makes so much sense. So guys, you saw what the title was for today, right? Your health is your wealth. But hey, brownies happen. And for those of you that know, that know me, you've been following the broadcast or these episodes for any length of time, you know that OMG, I love brownies. Some brownies with some ice cream and some walnuts, and I'm just excited, right? As if I'm about to get it right now. But we really have to show up when it comes to, having that health and wellness. There's some things that we have to implement. And I always tell people, you can plan all day, but if you don't work on the mindset first, it will not go anywhere. So let's talk about that mindset piece. What do you feel as though when we're working on our mindset, what should be the first thing that we can do?
For me, with the mindset, I call it a mindset shift. You have to shift your mind into, I'm going to change what I've been doing and I'm going to do this differently. And for me, that comes at a point where I go, I'm done. When I'm just really, really done, I'm done with feeling this way. I'm done with being ill. I'm done with not having the dreams and the goals I wanted, or not accomplishing the things I had planned. I'm 52 years old and I am nowhere near where I thought I would be right now. But I've had a couple of big roadblocks in between. So you've got to shift your mindset and you've got to decide, I'm done. And I call that your defining moment. When you come to that defining moment where you finally decide, that's it, I'm done, I'm going to change this. And if you decide that with your health, that's it, I'm going to change this, then you need to take those steps to begin to change it. And like after the car accident, I was on like all kinds of pain meds and shots in my back. And I had 7 surgeries that I had to recover from. It was pretty rough. And when I came to that mindset shift was when I was in the hospital after my last surgery and they could not control my pain. And I was shaking and my teeth were chattering. And I looked at my husband and I said, I'm done. And I had my naturopathic degree. I knew what to do, but up until that point, I didn't have the strength or the will to do it. And I had to decide, I had to make that mind shift. That was the moment that I decided I'm done and I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to change my life. And it took me 2 years to get off of all that medication and to be able to come back and be sitting here now, be talking in front of audiences of 200-300 people, where I can stand up on stage for an hour and talk, where I could barely get out of the bed to get myself to the bathroom or to get myself something to eat. So, but it took me deciding in that moment, I'm not living this way anymore. I'm done. And that's what you have to do. You got to have that defining moment and that mindset shift that I'm done. I'm just done.
It's interesting that you said that too, because what stood out was that you said, I already had the degree. I already knew what I needed to do, but it was that defining moment that made me shift.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, I was talking about it earlier, that we got to be our own cheerleaders sometimes. You get to that defining moment and it's like, okay, I'm not looking for anybody else to tell me what the next step is. I'm not looking for anybody else to tell me which direction to go in. I literally have to tell myself, get your butt up and get it done. And, it's hard sometimes because we have those blocks. We have those, it's supposed to be easy, or we have the blocks where people tell you, oh no, you're never going to achieve it. You're never going to be able to do it. So it's great to have that motivation and be able to support yourself and be able to say, oh no, I'm going to get this done. And I applaud you for that, because that was major. After going through something major like that, coming back from that and then being able to stand on stage and speak is an amazing feat. Because anybody who's a speaker, if you don't know, in case you did not know, speakers stand for anywhere from 30 to 45 to an hour's length of time. Mm-hmm. And for some, you're walking across the stage. Others, you're standing behind a podium. It all depends on the atmosphere. So we forget that as a speaker, there's a lot that we put on our bodies that nobody really talks about. And so when making that shift, what did you have to do for you to be able to prepare yourself to stand for that length of time?
I had to start by making a point every day. Well, I started out making a point every day to get off of all those medications and detoxify my body from that medication. And that was a huge deal. And then I had to make a point of, I'm going to start walking. And I have fibromyalgia and lupus that were triggered by this accident. So I'm in pain all the time. I'm not telling you I'm healed. It's miraculous. I wake up, usually every day I wake up in pain. And it's whatever degree of pain. But I have to push through that in order to accomplish what my goals are and what I feel I've been called to do, which is to share with other women how you can make that mindset shift and you can be relentless in your pursuit of your dreams and your health and your family wellness and everything. And so I had to get up every day and I had to start, and I started by just standing. I mean, I had been in the bed pretty much for 12 years. So I started by just standing for 5 or 10 minutes at a time. And then I put my music on and I just dance or move a little to the music. And then just slowly started walking. And you have to do it slowly. I think that's the problem with people in January and New Year's resolutions. They think, oh, it's this big goal and I'm going to make this big change. And they make all these big plans instead of making small incremental steps to change what you're doing and to learn new habits. So I just started with standing and then a little bit of dancing or moving around and then a little bit of walking and just 5 minutes at a time, and then add a minute or two and a minute or two, and then building up to getting on my recumbent bike and riding that and starting with just 4 or 5 minutes and then adding to that and just building myself up where I could be up and I could stand and do that. And I know that when I travel to speak, depending on how far I'm traveling, I might have to have a full day before I speak to rest from traveling. I might need a full day afterwards to rest before I travel home. Like I have a speech coming up in October in Switzerland. I know that I'm going to have a day or two before and after to recuperate. And then when I get home, I'm not booking out anything for a week or two afterwards, because that's a long flight, and then standing and speaking for an hour and then a long flight back. I know my body needs time to recuperate. So we have to just listen. We've got to learn to listen to our bodies and hear what they need. And that's one of the things on my website, ClamonNaturalHealth.com. I have on there, what is your body trying to tell you? And if you go on there and you click on the free resources, I'll send you that in an email. And it's just things like, if I'm having back pain, what could that mean? If I'm having headaches, what could that mean? Just different things that your signals your body's trying to send you to tell you what's going on with your body. And we need to learn to listen and understand that, and then start making incremental small steps. Babies don't get up from the crib and run. They start out by scooting and then crawling and then pulling up and then toddling. That's how we have to think of it. You can't go from being in bed for 12 years to I'm on stage traveling, flying 20 hours and speaking for an hour and flying back. You can't do that. You have to listen to your body and do things incrementally. Make a plan and stick with your plan.
Yeah, I think it's that, we get that, I want it now. We're in that kind of microwave society where I want it now. I need to have it now. It needs to change now. I need 6-pack abs now. But it doesn't work that way. Sorry, no, not sorry. It doesn't work that way. And so we really have to have that dedication, to go a little further than the initial, okay, I want to get this done. Are you tough enough? Do you have the support? Do you have the willpower? Because it's going to take willpower. We get it that you're excited, but guess what? That excitement will wane and that excitement will dwindle. And then what will happen is the excitement that you had, again, in that January moment, making that vision board, that excitement you had about that 2-piece bikini, by now is starting to look like, man, this is dangerous. I really have some things I got to do, and I don't know. And let's be honest, life happens. Life happens. We have children. Some have spouses. They have jobs. And again, if you're an author or a speaker, you're also an entrepreneur. So you still have things to do for that and to promote yourself. There's so many things that still have to be, put onto this whole list of to-dos. Sometimes the health and wellness goes out the window really quickly, especially if you're traveling, because I can travel and I can get to the airport and get anything to eat. Not necessarily a whole bunch of healthy stuff, but I can get anything to eat at the airport. I can get anything to eat when I'm traveling. I mean, there's fast food restaurants everywhere you go, every couple blocks. Mm-hmm. I can pick up some fried chicken and all this other stuff, and it doesn't mean that that's going to be what's best for me. And right. So when it comes to that eating regimen, what did you have to do for yourself in those beginning stages when you started to speak?
Well, one of the things that I did was I started on a program called Optavia, and that is a program where they have shakes and bars, and they have meals and different things, that you can do a meal with hot water. You could do a meal in the microwave. And I mostly do the shakes and the bars, and I take those with me everywhere I go because they're easy, they're portable, they're lightweight. And so I always have those with me. And the way Optavia works, and that's a program that I work with and I do wellness coaching with, is the way that it works is we call those fuelings, because we're fueling our body. We're not just eating to feed our body, but we want to give our body fuel, and we want to give it the proper fuel, just like we would with putting premium gas in our car. We want our car to last longer and go further. We want to put premium gas in it. We want our bodies to last longer and go further. We want to put premium gas in our car. So we have those fuelings, and we have programs where you can do 3 fuelings, 4 fuelings, or 5 fuelings a day, and then have one meal where you eat what we call lean and green, which is a lean protein and vegetables. And so I always try to, when I'm on the road, I try to have my bars and my shakes with me. And I do the 4 and 2, and I do 4 fuelings. So I eat that in the morning, mid morning. And that's something else. One of my talks is eat more, weigh less. And people are like, do what? I'm like, if you eat more, you weigh less, because we need that fuel to burn those calories. So you need to be eating every 2 to 3 hours throughout the day. You need to be having 6 small meals instead of 3 big meals. So I eat my bar, my shake, my bar, and then I usually have lunch, and I try to order something that's grilled and a salad or vegetables if they have grilled vegetables somewhere like that. And I try to plan, especially when I'm traveling, I try to plan a layover so that I know I'm going to have time to go sit down somewhere, like say a Chili's or an Applebee's, where I can order a grilled chicken. Or if I want fajitas, I order the fajitas and I tell them, just don't bring me the flour tortillas, and I just eat the meat and the guacamole with it. And the guacamole is a good healthy fat. So, and then that's how I try to eat throughout the day, so that I maintain my energy. It keeps my blood sugar levels steady, and it helps me still lose weight and helps me keep my energy up as I'm traveling and as I'm going. And then I've always got something with me. So if I'm hungry, instead of grabbing a bag of chips or some cookies or something in the airport or at the hotel, I've always got a bar or a shake or something like that. They also have great snacks too. If you want something salty, snacky, they also have like barbecue and Parmesan cheddar snacks. They have just all kinds of a variety of things that you can choose from.
And you shared a great tip too. And I never even thought about it in that way. Is, really, if you know that you're traveling a distance, it's okay to have that layover.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're traveling and you're going a long distance, you're on the flight and you tend to buy something on the flight. Now, I've seen that they've added some kind of like healthier options, but not many. There's maybe like 2, if that. And that's pushing it to the extreme. And they're not really options. They're more like cardboard.
Yes.
Here's some cardboard for you to eat because you eat like rabbit food. That's basically what it says on the menu. That's what I feel like in my mind that it says on the menu. But I really feel like, that's one of those great tips that people who, if you're not an author, you're not a speaker, those are not things that you normally hear about. Those are not things that somebody would normally say to you. You know what? It's okay to have that layover time. It's okay to go a day early or leave a day late. So you have that time to, get yourself prepared for your travel and your journey back. And ultimately, that's not something that people would talk about. People would bypass all of that because they're more worried about what? Am I getting paid to speak?
Mm-hmm.
And how much time do I get to speak? And I found that to be very interesting because I tell my clients all the time, I said, speaking is great, but I don't always have to speak for an hour, because I can do a speech for 15 minutes, and that 15-minute speech can give you a whole lot more than somebody who's up there for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours just talking, because I know how to give you exactly what it is that you need. And so it's not so much the time that I'm speaking, but I always have to know, for me, I'm an introvert. So I do the same thing. I normally go in a day earlier and I leave a day later to give myself that time to, just kind of depressure, depressurize myself from, being around so many people. And I'm always engaged with people, and it's usually some people know me, so they want to go out to eat and everything like that. So to get back in my introverted circle and bubble, I take that extra time. Or even throughout the event, if they're doing something and it's all day and they have lunch together, I may not have lunch with them. I may go somewhere else and get lunch, or, just take that time to go and lay down or go sit by the pool. So I've implemented those things into my regimen. And I tell people all the time, as a speaker, there's going to be certain things that you have to implement for your good.
Right.
You always got to be thinking about what's going to be best for me, my mind, my body, what's going to be best for me. because I can fly and do all of these wonderful things, but if my body is shutting down, it's not going to mean anything.
Mm-hmm. And see, I'm the opposite. I'm an extreme extrovert. So I want to do
Oh, I think we froze up a little bit, but no worries, no worries. So those of you who have been watching the broadcast, I greatly appreciate it, because guess what? It happens. Those who are listening in, thank you so much. Put in the comments where you are listening in from, where you are viewing this from. I definitely want to make sure that we connect with you. But we are always talking about, look, when I decide that I am going to move into being an author, being a speaker, there are always some extra things, some added things that I need to discuss, that I need to put on paper that people aren't really discussing. People aren't really talking about, taking a layover so that way you can sit down and eat. So that way you're not trying to eat on the go. People don't talk about, taking that extra time for yourself in the beginning, before the event, and after the event. They don't talk about those things. And I've even gone and asked people, that go and do all of these amazing programs that they've paid all this money for, did they really tell you how to structure your time when it comes to doing events? How do you structure your time so that way you're doing more than just showing up for the event, but you're also showing up for you? How are you engaging with people? What are you doing outside of the event? So it's always great to look at those things when it comes to me as the author, as the speaker. And so I'm not sure what happened. We lost Elizabeth, but I will be coming back and letting you guys know. All her information will be in the comments, or if you're catching this on one of the other platforms, they'll be in the description box. She did give you earlier on her website for you to go and to connect with her, but I'm going to give it to you one more time just in case you didn't get it. She is a naturopath who earned her bachelor's degree in holistic nutrition and master's in naturopathy from Clayton College of Health. She studied psychology at Louisiana Baptist University in Shreveport, Louisiana. She's been educating, coaching, and consulting for more than 20 years. You guys know that I'm always telling you that experience means volumes. She just told you guys how after a really bad accident and being bedridden for 12 years, she was able to come back from that. And it was all through health and wellness. It was all through that natural health and wellness. So I definitely want you to connect with her. So you can connect with her. She's at Clamon Natural. That's Clamon Natural for Twitter. Clamon Natural Health, or Elizabeth Clayton on Instagram. And on Facebook, she is a better way to heal on Facebook. So I definitely want you to connect with her. I'll make sure that all that information is in the comments again, so you can talk to her and reach out to her if you have some questions when it comes to your health and wellness journey. So guys, if you are an author or speaker, I would love to have you on the platform, bit.ly/speakeasy podcast, all lowercase, in order for you to sign up for a date. I think right now we're up to like August with signing up for people's dates. So definitely do it as soon as possible to get a slot. Yeah, that part. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you follow this page or follow this broadcast so that way you can catch up with us the next time we share out a new episode of the Speakeasy podcast. I am your host, Altavice Pelzer, and until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.